Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello and welcome to episode 186 of Total Retail Talks. In today's episode, Executive Editor Joe Keenan sits down with Carolyn Littlefield, Senior Director of E-Commerce at Anheuser-Busch InBev, a global beverage and brewing company with over 500 brands. Listen in as they discuss the steps that AB InBev is taking to grow its digital business. All recorded live at Groceryshop 2018 in Las Vegas. And now on to the show.
Hi, I'm Joe Keenan of Total Retail. I'm here at Groceryshop in Las Vegas. I am joined by Carolyn Littlefield, who is the Senior Director of E-Commerce at AB InBev. She's going to be presenting here at the show. We just have a couple questions for her. So thanks for joining me, Carolyn.
Great.
So I think a good place to start would be to tell us a little bit about your role at AB InBev.
Sure. So I lead e-commerce for the U.S. and Canada for AB InBev. I work in ZX Ventures, which is our innovation and venture group. It's a group that sits with the U.S. Commercial Strategy Office in New York City, but it's a separate actual global team. Within my role in e-commerce, I oversee our relationships with the likes of Amazon and Walmart and Kroger, all those .com businesses, as well as the startup partners like Drizzly and Minibar and Saucy, as well as kind of other new-to-the-world technologies that involve e-commerce.
So, as a traditional CPG beverage business, what are the challenges for Anheuser-Busch InBev as it looks to kind of grow e-commerce as a new channel?
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges for us is that beer is really hard to sell, period, and it's really hard to sell online due to legal constraints. That said, we're working on some creative and constructive ways to work within the legal bounds of what we call the 3-tier system. Everything has to be sold from us, the supplier, to a distributor, to a retailer, and only the retailer can sell to the consumer. So all of what we do is e-retail partnerships for the most part, making sure that we're selling, we're working with our retail partners who are selling online to make sure that our brands are well represented.
So I was going to say less about obviously transactional for you and more about kind of driving engagement and kind of driving purchase intent, correct?
Yeah. So one of the biggest gaps that we have is awareness. Most people don't actually know that you can buy beer online. Okay. People might think that's not legal, or it won't come cold, or I won't get the thing that I want. But really it's quite a nice service, and it's great for the, anyone from the busy millennial who's working long hours through to, new parents who have their hands full at home and can't leave the house, as well as the click and collect businesses. But as far as driving that awareness, we really need to close the gap with our retail partners to make sure that they're making beer as a category really prominent within their websites.
Yeah, that's a good kind of segue into my next question. I was going to talk about some of the ways that the tools that you're using and some of the different ways that you're partnering with your retail your sellers to kind of drive that awareness and address those challenges that you just talked about.
Yeah, so, as you probably know, we have some really strong and really great brands that we're backing up, and it's really working with our retail partners to make sure that they have all the assets that they can use to represent our brands best online. So we need to make sure that we have great content on any product page. We're trying to make sure that our brands are, where possible and where applicable and where legal, are driving, their own media out to places where people can buy online. And then we also want to make sure that where there's programs where, our brands, whether it's a Dilly Dilly campaign or a Budweiser holiday campaign, we want to make sure that those brands are represented in an omni-channel way.
You mentioned click and collect. I'm interested in kind of how that fits into what you're trying to accomplish with your retail partners, and kind of, that's a growing area, and specifically in groceries. We're here at Groceryshop. There's been a lot of talk about click and collect. How does that kind of fit into where you see it in kind of the beer business? Yeah,
for us, we know that click and collect is the highest sales volume of grocery today. And we know that beer is a huge basket driver generally. And there's a lot of different uses for click and collect. One is people are actually going online, ordering, pulling into that spot, and having someone put it in their trunk. The other way that people are using click and collect is to create lists online and then actually going into the store. So either way, we want to make sure that our brands are well represented within that.
Your role as Senior Director of E-Commerce at AB InBev, I'm interested in kind of where your focus is going to be, not you specifically, but the business as well, in terms of growing the kind of digital business for AB InBev. I've heard this statistic a couple times here at the show, within, 5 years, 10% of grocery sales, projected to be coming online. So what does that mean for you at AB InBev?
Yeah, we definitely want to be growing at the same pace or faster than that kind of clip as far as the online grocery business is growing. And we also know that beer is actually the largest category in grocery, according to IRI. So knowing that beer is the largest category in grocery, we want to work with our retailers to make sure that beer is a basket driver and driving those trips for people as they shop online.
And then finally, what are some of the technologies that you're focusing on to help you reach these goals that you've just talked about?
So there's a lot of different partners that we're working with, everything from, the marketplace, more technology partners that are actual, e-retail players, as you will. And then there's also, background technologies, as well as working with our digital team on a lot of data collection and things like that. So working with our digital team, we've collected over the years, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of points of data on the consumers who are drinking and consuming and interacting with our brand. So we're definitely trying to better utilize that data to make sure that we're targeting the right people to make them aware that they can buy beer online and make sure they have a great experience with our brand.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned too is content. How does that kind of play into that kind of driving that awareness that you said that many people don't know that they can buy beer online?
Yeah, we're using a lot of different services to make sure that we have best-in-class content, but most of it's actually done in-house. So we want to make sure that we have, search engine optimized content so that when people are searching on Google, it's, beer and beer delivery services are showing up at the top. But we're also working to make sure that, where it's possible to have rich content as well. We have great commercials out there. We have great digital ads out there. We want to make sure that any product page where someone might buy our brand is also a great brand experience where they can interact with a video or recipe or a beer pairing with food.
Very good. Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Carolyn Littlefield of AB InBev for joining me today at Groceryshop. Thanks, Carolyn.
Great.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher, but make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.